Hello everyone, and welcome to my demonstration and review of the Good Ideas Compact Twin Tub Washing Machine. This is model XPB35918S. It's a bit of a mouthful there. Right, this is a very small and lightweight twin tub washing machine. It has two recesses either side, so it can be carried from room to room, and you'll need to carry it because there are no wheels, but it is not very heavy at all. Now, this particular machine is mainly sold to people who own caravans or motorhomes, but it's also ideal for single people or just a couple, or possibly you live in rented accommodation, you don't have plumbing for an automatic washing machine and you don't want to go to the laundrette all the time. This could possibly be an option for you. Now, I got this, it was on offer, it was about £80, but the sort of average price you'll pay for one of these is about 110 to 130, depending on where you buy it from and what offer is on at the time. But I thought for £80 I'll have a punt, and to be quite honest with you, I'm very impressed with this very compact and quiet little washing machine. Well, it's got twin tubs. This side is for your washing, and this side is the spin dryer. Inside the spin dryer I've got my fill hose. I use that to fill the machine with hot water from the tap. I also use it to fill it with rinse water. I'll be showing you every feature and function of the machine, because the instructions you do get with this aren't very clear, and a lot of people have complained online that they couldn't fathom out the instructions. So hopefully by the end of this video you will know exactly how to work this machine. This is, like I say, the fill hose. It's very poor quality. That's the major downside of this particular machine. I think it could easily break. It's not very long, but it does the job at the moment. It's been okay so far, but it is quite flimsy. Also, inside the spinner you get this little mat here. Now, you must put that on top of the washing before you start the spinning. Again, I'll demonstrate all this in the video. Right, let me just show you the main controls of this washing machine. Here we have the control panel of the washing machine. It's fairly straightforward. The first thing to show you here on this side is the water inlet. You attach the fill hose to that when you're filling up the machine with hot water from the tap. That just pushes on there like that, and then this end you attach to your tap. Next thing to look at is the wash timer. This goes from 3 minutes all the way up to 15 minutes. Now, I would use 15 minutes for heavily soiled items. If you're washing tea towels that have got lots of stains on, or workwear, or children's clothes that have been, out in the wilds, got mud on them, grass, all sorts. Use the longest program so you'll get the best results. So you can select from 15 right down to 3. For your general items, your easy care, like your work shirts and things, probably 9 or 6 minutes, depending on the soiling. And for your delicate, lightly soiled items, all you'll need is 3 minutes. The next dial we have here is the wash select dial. So you have two washing modes: a gentle wash mode, which turns the agitator slightly less, so it's a bit better for your delicate fabrics, and for normal clothing and heavily soiled items you can select the normal setting. When you want to drain the wash tub, you turn the dial here to drain, and then the pump will drain out all the dirty water. Next dial we have is the spin timer. That goes from 1 minute to 5 minutes. I've never really had to use it above 4 minutes. For things like towels, highly absorbent items, you'd probably want to go for a longer spin. But if you've got more delicate items, then possibly just 1 or 2 minutes. And also at this end we have another water inlet, which you attach the same hose to that you use to fill up the washing machine, and that is used to introduce water into the rinse section, the rinse and spin section. Again, I'll demonstrate this in the video, but this is the little outlet where the water will flow into your washing to help rinse it before you spin it. At the side of the washer we have the drain hose. Again, the quality of this isn't very good. This is the next major downside of this washer, the fill hose and the drain hose. It's not too bad, but it is quite flimsy. It looks very similar to the sort of hose you'd get on an automatic washing machine, but you'd normally not see this because it would be plumbed in behind the machine. But that is designed to hook over a sink. Now I've found in my kitchen the hose isn't long enough to hook over my sink, which is why I'm going to demonstrate this in my ensuite bathroom, and I find doing it in here is far better because I use this, I drain the dirty water out of the wash tub down my shower cubicle tray. So it means it's lower down and it means it just drains a little bit easier. It does have a pump in it. It's not like some of the smaller versions you can get of this that just drain with gravity. This does actually have a pump to help pump the water out. But the lower you have this when it's pumping out, the better. And that just hooks onto the side there when you're not using it. This is the back panel of the washing machine where you can see we have the cord stored neatly. It's not very long, the Flex. I do have to use an extension lead. I'd say it's about 2 meters of cord, and of course it is fitted with your standard UK plug. The hooks that are used to wrap the cord round, again, a little bit flimsy. They do form a removable panel where you can get access to some of the internal workings of the machine. So I'd be careful when you're winding the cord round. Don't wind it too tightly, and just take care. They should survive as long as you're not too rough with them. I've angled the camera so we can see the inside of the wash and spin tubs a bit more clearly. This is the wash tub, and as you see at the base of it there's a large rotating impeller. Now this works differently to say an automatic where you have a drum that rotates and tumbles the clothes in the water. This method actually agitates the water and the clothes using a spinning disc at the bottom. So that is what moves round. It's not the tub stays stationary, it's actually the impeller that rotates. I'll just switch it on to show you the action. So it'll rotate once in one direction for a specified time, pause, and then as you can see it turns in the other direction. That's in normal washing mode. If I switch to gentle, there is a slight difference in the timings of the impeller. As you can see, it stays paused for longer before it rotates in the other direction. So that setting you would use for your more delicate items. If I switch back to normal, you'll see that the impeller stays rotating for longer and doesn't pause for as long. The ticking sound you can hear, rather old-fashioned, but that is the clockwork gubbins inside which controls the length of your wash program. It's a mechanical timer rather than an electronic one. So that is your wash tub, and you have a nice built-in lid that you can have closed when you're using the machine. This is the spin side. It's an all plastic affair, as in fact most of the machine is plastic. But it's quite an effective spinner. It doesn't need a belt, it is a direct drive. And it has 2 safety lids, so it won't operate without both lids closed. And that's the spinner. And again, it's very quiet. The other noise you can hear is the pump, which would be pumping away the water. If I was to open this now, it has a brake that automatically stops the spinner from going round straight away. Then you have this additional lid here. In the old days with the early twin tubs, they didn't have this sort of interlocking mechanism, so you could just open them and you'd have to wait for the spinner to stop spinning, but this has been made a lot safer, so you cannot open the spinner without it being stationary. For this demonstration I'm going to wash a load of dirty tea towels. Now they weren't that dirty, so I thought I'd make them a little bit dirtier. So with this particular tea towel here, and I've no idea if this is going to come clean, but anyway, I've put some jam on it, and it's also, that horrible black mess is gravy browning. Now, I'm not really sure if it's going to remove that sort of soiling, especially since I don't have any bio washing detergent, but anyway, we will see if the agitation of the machine is enough to shift that soiling. Here's some genuine muck though, just a little bit of general dirt. That was from having to wipe my dog's paws when she came in from the garden. So we've just got general tea towels that have been used to wipe surfaces, wipe around the kitchen, wipe around the bathroom, etc. So that's what we'll be washing today. Now obviously the first thing we need to do is add some water into the wash tub. So I've connected the fill hose to the water inlet here, and I'm now going to attach the rubbery side to my mixer tap and turn on the water. You might just be able to see this is where the water comes into the machine. Now at this stage I'm going to add some liquid detergent, just 1 capful, and just to rinse out the cap I'll just put it under there. But because this is a non-bio detergent, I'm going to add some laundry booster, there we go, in the shape of this Oxy Plus. So I'm just going to do 1 scoop of that into the wash as well. That's half a scoop. I nearly used up the rest. Actually, I'll just pour the rest of it in because there's hardly any left in there. You need to fill the machine about 2/3 full. Now I'm just using water from the tap. You don't want to put boiling water in. It's hand hot water. It's slightly hotter than hand hot. It's about 50 degrees, I think, the temperature. So it's not quite to capacity yet, just a little bit longer, and then we'll soon be ready to add the tea towels. I think that'll do for now, so I'm going to turn the water off. Now what I'm going to do is just turn the machine on to ensure that the detergent and the laundry booster is well mixed into the water. This gives you an idea of the wash action. You can see how the water's swirling round in a vortex fashion, and it's doing a good job of dissolving the powder, additive and the liquid detergent into the water there. What I will say, I have seen some videos where people have put the clothes in, then added the detergent on top. I find it's best to make sure the detergent is thoroughly mixed in to the water before you add your clothes, because sometimes if you pour neat detergent or put neat powder on top of your laundry, it can actually cause some staining. So now I know that it's thoroughly mixed into the water, I can add my dirty tea towels. So you can just have the machine off when you're doing this, or if you want a bit of fun, we can have the machine running. Whoops-a-daisy. Now, I think I'll add a little bit more water to that, but you can do it, of course, with the machine running. There's the very soiled tea towel. You can already see the water's turned brown due to the gravy browning, so perhaps that wasn't the best thing to do, but anyway, hopefully the spinner will spin out all the dirty water. So I can just leave that, I can just go away, leave that to wash, but I'm going to turn the dial right up to 15 minutes just to ensure it gets a really thorough wash. So that's one last look at the tea towels washing in the machine. I'll be back in 15 minutes to spin the first load. Well, the washer has finished its full 15-minute cycle on these dirty tea towels. Now the first thing I need to do before I start to do any rinsing is to extract as much of the dirty water as possible beforehand. So for that, of course, we need to use the spinner. So I'm not going to put the full load into the spin dryer because it won't take a full load. So I'm going to just put about half the quantity in. We'll go a bit more than that. A couple more tea towels, that'll do. Now push it down so it's nice and even, and then of course we need to put on the little plastic spin lid like that. Now before I start the spinner, you need to make sure of course that your outlet pipe is securely over the sink, over the toilet, or in your shower tray, otherwise you're going to have water everywhere. Now what you can do, and this is what people used to do in the old days of twin tubs, if you've only washed some lightly soiled clothes and want to use the water again for another load, you can do. So if you do that, all you need to do is put the drain hose into the wash tank, so when it spins the water out, it'll be back in the tank for your next load. Obviously I'm not going to use this water again because it's very dirty, but if I was just doing lightly soiled items, this water could possibly be used again. So I'm just going to turn the spinner on. As you can see, all the water has been pumped out of the tea towels back into the wash tub. Now I can actually put the lid down on this, which will hold it in place while it's spinning. So I'm just going to spin for about 3 minutes before I start rinsing these. But before I rinse these, I'm going to spin the other load. Now this is about as noisy as it gets because I've got the spinner going as well as the wash tub. So this is just demonstrating that you can actually be spinning a load of clothes while you're washing another load. Just like in a traditional old-fashioned twin tub, you could do that with one of those. You can still do it with this compact twin tub. So I've just decided, while I'm having a bit of a spin, I might as well leave the rest of the tea towels in there, just to have a bit more of an agitation. I've now directed the drain hose into my shower cubicle, so the next time I spin the rest of the wash, all the dirty water is going to go out through the drain there. And also, when I empty the wash tub, it will all go down the drain there too. So that's the spin finished, the initial spin anyway, and it will continue to turn until it stops, or until I open the lid and it stops automatically. So now we can remove the partially dried clothes, or in this case tea towels, and yes, they're not too bad. Certainly dry enough to hang up on the line or on a clothes horse. I don't know if amongst this lot we've got the stained tea towel, but we'll soon know. They all seem pretty clean that are coming out here. Do excuse these tea towels, a lot of them we've had many years, as one does. Tea towels do tend to get better with age, and it doesn't really matter what they look like, does it? But so far there is not a trace of any of the staining, but of course that could be in the next load that I'm going to spin dry now. So I'm just going to take the remainder of the wash from the wash tub and pop it in the spin dryer. Make sure there's nothing left. That's it, that's the drum empty. What I can do at this stage, if I turn the setting here to drain, the machine will now pump out all the dirty water from the wash tub, but also I can spin at the same time as I'm draining, so it'll be spinning out the excess water from the wash as well as draining the wash tub. as you can see, it's drained all the water out of the wash tub, but it could do with a bit of a rinse out now. But first I'll remove some of the gunk that's been left at the bottom. Okay, with the gunk removed, I'll put some cold water in now just to rinse out the tub. And switch the drain back on. So there you go, that's all drained out. And what I would normally do before putting the machine away, I would give this a wipe out with a tea towel to leave it nice and dry and clean for next time. Right, I'm now at the stage of spinning the second load of tea towels, so now they need to be rinsed. So we'll first of all have a look at these tea towels before I do any rinsing, just to see if there's any staining on them. Now, a word about rinsing: the instructions are very vague. They just say to repeat the wash but using clean water in the wash tub. Now, you can rinse things like that, but you don't have to. Now, initially I am going to rinse things like that just to show you. So inside the wash tub I've just put some clean cold water, and as I take the items out of the spinner tub and examine them, I'm just opening them up. Haven't seen those stains yet, so whatever tea towel they were on, I believe the washing machine has removed them. And it's always important, again, spin them before you start any rinsing. If you spin them first, you're extracting more of the soil solution before you actually add rinse water to it, so you get a much more effective rinse that way. So that's fine. No, I can't see those stains, so whichever tea towel they were on, they're not there anymore. So, like I say, I've got clean water in here now, and I can turn on the machine again and start rinsing the wash. Okay, so that's one method you can use. Now, what they don't mention in the instruction book for this particular model is the fact that you can use the spinner to rinse your clothes. We have a little water inlet here and also a water inlet here. So instead of connecting the fill hose to the wash side, we can connect it to the inlet here. And now if I turn the tap on, you'll be able to see that cold water can now be dispensed into the spinner. So now we can add these other tea towels that we washed. This is the way I'd normally rinse my clothes, but if you have anything you want to add fabric softener to, it works better really if you put some rinse water in the main tub, add your fabric softener, turn on the wash timer to agitate the softener into the load, then put your clothes in, give them a bit of a soak and a bit of an agitation, then spin them. Because it is hard to add fabric softener at this stage because it just tends to run out and doesn't absorb into the clothes. So as you can see, we're adding water to this. And what you can do at this stage now, make sure the spin mat is on firmly, close the lid, and then we can start spinning. Another thing you can actually do is turn on the cold water while it's spinning. So by turning the tap on now, I'm introducing water into the spin tub. Obviously it's making it a bit noisier. But I don't tend to do that. But I'm leaving the water is still running as the wash is spinning. So it's helping it to distribute the water. But we can open it again. What I like to do, just to make sure it's thoroughly rinsed, whoops-a-daisy, is get my hands in and give it a bit of a movement. Try and get the garments that's at the bottom of the wash tub to the top, just so they get a thorough rinse. And you can tell if they're properly rinsed if you observe the drain water coming out of the machine. If that looks clear, then you can be sure your washing is rinsed thoroughly. And obviously if you have allergies and need to ensure that you've got all the detergent out, rinse it as much as you want to. But I think this will do for this particular load. 2 rinses. Now I'm going to do the final spin. So I think turn it to 4 minutes and leave it to spin dry. Well, that's the final spin done on this load of tea towels, and we can now see the final result. Now I was surprised that there was not a hint of the jam or the neat gravy browning on any of the tea towels, and I couldn't even find the one that actually put the staining on. I can't even remember which style of tea towel it was, but none of the tea towels that have been through this washing machine have any trace of the gravy browning or the jam on them. So I think that is a fantastic result for a washing machine that cost me £80. All the tea towels spotlessly clean and just damp dry. They can be dried in a tumble dryer if you've got one on your washing line, or indoors on a clothes horse. Before I do my summing up on the Good Ideas twin tub washer, I thought I'd just spend a moment to tell you about the 2 products I used in the demo. Firstly, we put in some Astonish non-bio wash in the jasmine and orange flower fragrance. Very good value, 28 washes, about £1.99. If stores are charging more than that, they're ripping you off, because £1.99 is the sort of price you would expect to pay for this. Even at the online supermarket Ocado, where I bought this from, it was £1.99. Normally Ocado a little bit more expensive, but it was still £1.99 there, so very good value. And because of the extra staining I added on one of the tea towels, I thought it might needed an extra boost, so I added a scoop of the Astonish Oxy Plus stain remover. This is a kilogram tub, and I think this cost me about £1.75. So all in all, very good value for money. So that's one plus point for Astonish products. They are good value. Not only the laundry products, but they do a lot of products to clean your bathroom, kitchen, even car care products, and they're all exceptional value. So that's 1 thumbs up for Astonish, the value. Second thumbs up for Astonish, they're made in the UK. And I believe they're made in Yorkshire, so you could call that a 3rd thumbs up from me. But the main reason I buy Astonish products is for one little symbol that you'll find on the packaging, and it's this. It's called the Leaping Bunny symbol. Now that's a symbol of the BUAV, the British Union of Anti-Vivisectionists. Now if you look for the Leaping Bunny symbol, it means that the products are cruelty free. The ingredients and the whole product have never been tested on animals, or they have been but a long time ago. There is a cut-off point, but if you see the Leaping Bunny, you know that you're buying cruelty-free products. So that's why I always go for Astonish. And I also look for the Leaping Bunny in any other things I buy, toiletries, etc. You can get products from Sainsbury's own brand, and the Co-op own brand also have the Leaping Bunny symbol, and I believe Superdrug as well, their own brand. So there are plenty of products you can buy that are BUAV approved. So if you care about animals, you don't want to be buying things that have been tested on animals, look for the Leaping Bunny symbol. It's a worldwide recognised symbol, and it's what I always look for. Well, to sum up, would I recommend a Good Ideas twin tub washing machine? Well, yes, I would, 100%. The only niggles I have with the machine is the quality of the drain and fill hoses. They don't seem very good, and possibly after a few months use may fail and you might have to replace or repair them. Also, the drain hose is a little bit short. If you're using this in a standard kitchen and you want to hook the drain hose over your sink, you might find it's a bit lacking in length. So you'd have to raise up the machine on some blocks or something in order to do that, which is a bit inconvenient. Saying that, this is mainly marketed at people with mobile homes or caravans who want to have a washing machine with them so they don't have to be, you know, taking clothes to the laundrette on their trip or just need to wash things on the journey. But it's also ideal for people who live on their own, if they live in rented accommodation, if they don't have the plumbing for an automatic washing machine and you're not allowed to have an automatic. This, because it's so light, you can tuck it in the corner of the kitchen, bring it towards your sink when you use it, and it's far better than having to go to the laundrette. I must say, when my washing machine downstairs, well, not the one I've got now, but the one I had before, failed, and we were without a washer for a couple of weeks. I was trying to wash stuff in the bath. Yes, I could wash it, but you try drying stuff. It was a nightmare. I had to try and wring things out, things were sopping wet, and this was in winter, so I couldn't hang things out. Just to have a spin dryer would have been fantastic. But if I had this machine tucked away, it's an ideal backup. If you've got a very unreliable washing machine, this is ideal when your washing machine's being repaired. But it's also ideal if you've got things you want to wash that you don't want to wash in your washing machine. Say you run dog kennels and you want to wash dog bedding and things, you don't want them in your main washer, get one of these. I have a friend who's a window cleaner and he has a separate washing machine for washing all his scrims, I think they're called, for things he uses for washing the windows. He doesn't want them in his Miele with his clothes, so he has a separate washing machine for those. So there's many instances where I think this machine would be good, and it's just quite fun to use. It harks back to a bygone age. It's not, of course, it's not a set and forget machine like an automatic. You do have a lot of manual work to do, but I can tell you it's far easier and far more efficient than trying to wash up by hand. So that's it. That's my full review. I will be doing another demo of this, but just basically a how-to video where I'll be washing another load of clothes. It'll be less chit-chat. It'll just be a bit more concise for people who just want to know how to operate the machine. I've gone into a lot of detail in this video, as I do with a lot of my videos, because I know a lot of you do want every little detail talked about, and hopefully I've covered everything in this video. If you have any questions though about this machine, then ask me at the side of the video and I will do my best to answer them. But stay tuned to my channel because, like I say, I'll be uploading some more videos on this. But don't worry if you're a fan of vacuum cleaners, I haven't gone washing machine mad. There will be still plenty of new videos and demos of various vacuum cleaners and other floor care appliances on my channel, iBasiac. So until then, it's goodbye from me and I'll see you soon.